Hello everyone, Caroline here. It's been a while since I uploaded a video, but today I want to share a little video. I recently, on my trip to Germany, went the first time to Action, and I picked up this pad which has like a canvas with one gesso side on it. And I want to play with this on my jelly plate and see how that behaves and if I can make some great backgrounds. Now here's my jelly plate. I have like a 5x7 sized plate, so I cut this paper or this canvas in half so it will fit on my plate here. And I just stuck the side, one of the plastic side to my table here. Now I'm using some, just some random things to make some patterns or textures. I have from Faber-Castell this kind of like ring with different texture plates. And then I have also bubble wrap in 2 different sizes. And I also have this egg carton that I'm gonna use. For my first try here, I'm using some blues, and I'm just have a variety of colors. Some are from paper artsy, some are just from cosmic creative expression, cosmic paints. And for my first one, I'm just doing 2 paints here, and I'm just using my brayer and just put that here on my braid on my plate. Now I'm using my egg carton here, and I'm just randomly push that on the color, so I'm getting this really cool looking pattern. And then I'm using the first try here with this paper, and I'm using the gessoed side and just press that on the plate. I'm using my brayer here. Now, since this is a gessoed, you know, it has gesso on it, so this will behave different than paper, where paper would soak up the paint. This will kind of like lay on top of it. And you can see how cool that looks with this canvas pattern or texture in it. Now I have also this block here, which was part of an upgrade box, and this is like from adding, kind of like an acrylic, you know, it's a paper that has a linen structure, but it's for acrylic paper, paints, and also like pens. So I'm using this to see how I can, what comes off when I'm doing this, and it looks really cool. It has this linen texture in it from the other paper, from the canvas. And I'm just adding now another color, and this is kind of like a brownish or like a dark burnt orange color. And I have this copy paper here next to me that I'm using to just bray off the excess from my brayer. Now I'm using this bubble wrap, and this is so cool how you can really get some awesome patterns just with bubble wrap. Now I'm using the bubble wrap that I just pulled off the plate and just use it as a stamp on the first print that I did, and this looks, I think, awesome. Now for my next pull here, I'm using that paper that I just used, and then I'm adding it on top, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. And here you go, you have this grungy looking, almost like rusty background. Now I'm going ahead and I'm using like a really dark blue and medium blue here, and I'm using my brayer, and I'm just trying to not mix it all together, but have like a color splash here and a color splash there. And I see already on that copy paper how cool this color gonna look. I will use those as collage paper later in other projects. And again, I'm using this, you know, this egg carton. And I'm using again one of the canvas now. And then I'm see what I'm gonna get. And here we go. Again, very cool texture on this one. Now I'm using another one that I did before. It was very light, it had white on it. And I'm using that to get the ghost print. And here you can see how great this texture looks. Now you can see I never clean my plate. I just add the color and pull the color, and that will help you to get this really grungy looking prints. So there's no need to clean your plate in between. Now I'm using this small bubble wrap, also very cool. And now I'm trying actually the other side of that canvas, not the one that's gessoed, but the other one that has like pure canvas on it. And I think that looks awesome. It has this canvas look in the background. Now I'm adding a little bit of green. And I'm adding also some orange. Oh, that's not orange, that's actually cheddar, because cheddar. Again, I'm just, don't mix it completely together, I just leave those stripes on it. And here I'm using one of those scrapers from that bundle I have there. And I'm using, in this case again, the gessoed side. And here we go, and I think that looks really cool with this organic shapes in it. Now I'm using this leftover, and I'm taking the other print and just adding some grungy spots from this on top to the print that I had before. Now I'm adding again more like a turquoise and a cyan color. And I'm mixing this again carefully. And again I'm using my bubble wrap. And then I'm using again one of these papers. Acrylic papers with the linen structure in it. I mean, it's not acrylic paper, it's just like a strong cardstock with, I guess it has a special coating on it. And here you can see, I think that's an awesome print. Now I'm adding some yellow, and you can see how I wander around the color wheel. Since once something is dry, you can, and that's the, you know, that's the plus for the acrylics. Once it's dry, you can just add on top, and you don't end up with mud. You just have like the color on top of each other. Here in this case, I'm using now my brayer, and I just clean it off of another piece of this canvas just to see how that looks when I bray on the color. And that is also very cool looking. And again, I'm using now my big bubble wrap here. And I'm using again the bubble wrap as a stamp and add this to the canvas that I had earlier. Just give more, put more color on it. And here you can see how grungy that looks already. Now I'm using again clean one here. And here it is, also very cool. Now I'm adding some pink. And again, I'm using one of these papers. I hope that I can clean off my plate with this, but it was not. Everything came up, but that's okay. But I got a really cool print. Now I'm using white. And I make a few more patterns there, and then I'm cleaning this off. And again, I don't get all of it up, but that's okay. Now I'm using kind of like a book. It's a page from a sketchbook that is really soaks up the paint, and it's a good way to clean my plate. And also this paper is thin enough so you can use it easily for, you can even use it as a background, but I usually use this for collaging. And I think that's a very cool print. And together they look amazing. Now here I'm going to show you all the prints I made. I think I didn't show you the gold what I've added to that one. But you can see here how cool this really canvas comes through. Here's that one, the yellow one. And these are the papers. So they have less structure in them, but they're still very cool. And now I'm going to use 4 of those canvases, and I'm just working a little bit more with them. I think I want to add a little bit more like shine to it, so I'm using my gold color here. It's just a metallic gold, and I'm just use the brayer on this yellow one to add some sparkle, or not sparkle but shine to it. And then I'm using this egg carton and dump this or stamp it first in the color, and then I stamp it onto that dark blue to give a little bit more gold flecks to it. Here you can see. And then I'm doing the same with the other one here. And in this case, I'm just picking up the leftovers and transfer this to that print. And then I'm using the other one and get the rest of it. Now this one had too much gold for my taste, so I want to give it a little bit more, darken this down with this really dark Prussian blue or navy blue. And again, I'm using my brayer and I'm adding this to that previous print. Just make a few marks. Now I'm using this sponge here, and I'm just picking up the color from my plate, and I just use the sponge as a stamp and add more marks to one of the other of the yellow backgrounds. And then I'm adding this print here on my plate, and you can see how this blue just takes away this brightness from the gold. And I'm cleaning up my plate here using just a piece of copy paper. Here we go, and my plate is clean without using anything. And here are the 4 prints I made. And now I will use the prints, and I will create a card with it. So I chose this one of the dark backgrounds, and I want to add a little bit more color with a stencil. And this stencil is from Studio Light, and I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just want to get some organic pattern on top of the blue, just to introduce just a warm color to it. This is going to be my background for my card. And I'm using just a really regular makeup sponge that I got laying around. And here you can see I've just added a little more organic shape. Now I used the other Gelli prints I made, and I die cutted this new Tim Holtz colored flower, and I just cut them out, and then I went around with a, you can see that little stamp blending tool around the edge with a dark brown actually, dark brown. Now I have like a cream colored card base, and I cut my background to size using this deckled edge trimmer. And I will actually, it's actually very cool. It feels very cool because it has this, it's almost like fabric. I mean, it is canvas, so it is movable. But I'm using another little die that's also from a Tim Holtz set, and I'm cutting, cut the dies, the dots into my background, so you can see the card base underneath. And then I'm arranging my flower here. You can see I have those green, cut those out of the green one. So this has a very grungy, almost artistic look to it with this background, and even the texture of the canvas comes through. Here we go. So that will be my arrangement I have in mind. And I'm using one of the leftovers, and just use that piece here that has a little color on it, and I'm gonna stamp out my sentiment, and then I'm cutting this to size. Just using my scissor here. And then I'm gonna rip like a little thread, so it has this very ripped off, well, not very, but it kind of looks like a ripped piece of fabric. And I will glue this onto my card. So it's very cool that you can do this, distress edge. Now I'm just using my glue here, my liquid glue, and I just attach this flat to my card base here. And I'm making sure it's centered. And it's easy to fix here, since it's glue takes a minute until it really sticks together. And then I'm adding my label and my flower on top. And I'm using foam tape to get some dimension to the flower here. And adding this. So the other flower. So I think this is a very nice way to just, use your gel prints and get very unique cards, because you will not find another card like this, because you have these unique backgrounds and these unique shapes. So these are very, really unique cards. I hope you give your jelly plate, if you have one, a try, and if you have this paper or this pad from Action, even better, give it a try. It's a really fun to play around with, and you can even use this to create journal covers or a tag. You can use it in so many different ways. And for my final touch here, I'm just, of course, using my Nuvo drops. And here's my finished card. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you like the card, and I see you in my next video. Until then, Bye.